if someone says something's very triggering to me and I can feel it, I know if I were to say something in that moment, I would react in a way that I'd probably regret later. What I would say is like, what you just said just really didn't sit well with me at this current moment. And I want to perceive you through a loving lens.
Ooh.
And I've noticed that I may not be able to do that in this exact moment. So I'm going to take 15 minutes, going to take an hour. I'm going to talk to you about this, whether it's, 15 minutes or tomorrow, whatever it is, whatever the situation calls for. I'm going to go process this to make sure that when I engage with you again, it's going to come through a loving lens. And so when you have that conversation with someone who just hurt you, or you believe hurt you with their words or actions, whatever it may be, and you say exactly what you're going to do, they have an immense amount more respect for you for doing so.
Mm-hmm.
No woman in the world, unless they're being toxic, or man, is going to be like, no, we need to do this right now.
Right.
Because if they want what's best for you, like you just said, you clarified how you know what's going to be best for you, to give yourself a little bit of space, yourself a little bit of time, and come back to the loving lens. If they don't want that, they don't actually want what's best for the relationship.
Ooh. They almost want to egg you on into saying something that you're going to regret.
Exactly.
To maybe hold it over you.
They want a war.
They want a war. And that's really critical. I think when you're on the receiving end of this, because this happens with Cam and I, in a way that is so natural and loving that I don't even notice it's happening, where there will be just times where he doesn't even have to communicate that to me. He will just go on a walk and be like, oh, baby, I'm going to go out for a walk for a little bit. I'm like, okay, darling. And then he goes on his walk and he comes back. And a lot of the times this is happening, I don't even know it's happening because we're living in a world where our communication feels so good that he never brings me into his negative emotions. He never brings me his unprocessed emotions that are coming from a place of trigger. And I think that that's something it's really, really important in healthy communication. If you are coming from a place of calmness, and I know this is hard, this takes practice. You don't just go from 0 to when you get triggered, hey, I'm going to take a moment, what you said, trigger something in me, and I'm going to need some space to figure out exactly what that is before I go forward. You don't just go from, boiling over with anger to that. This is going to take practice and be very judgment-free and gentle with yourself, wherever you are in that journey. But just having the awareness of how that is the healthiest way to communicate will make this easier and easier and easier the next time that you're in these situations. But one thing that I want to dive in on what you said. And I think that this is so powerful for you as a man to be saying this because it creates such an emotional safety foundation for women is when a man feels an emotion very deeply and is coming from a place of trigger. So let's say an anger or a pride emotion or grief or one of these deep, deep, more negative emotions is coming to the party. I think a lot of men that I've encountered don't know to take the time to process that emotion alone first before they bring it to a woman. And I know we've mentioned this in a previous episode, but I think that this is one of the ways that having too much, call it therapy speak, accessible to everyone has actually made men go in the wrong direction when it comes to their feelings. I think I hear a lot of people say like, all feelings are perfect, all feelings are valid, all feelings should be shared. I don't agree. I don't think you should take every single feeling you have to your partner. I think that if you have a feeling, especially if it's anger as a man, which can be very startling, create a lot of unsafety in a woman. If you have that feeling, it's your responsibility to notice that feeling rising you and then go and do whatever feels right to you to process that feeling and then come back to the woman from a place of love, a place of calmness, and a place of compassion. Because where a relationship breakdown can really start is when a man specifically is bringing his unprocessed emotions to a woman. Now, this could be anything from anger and yelling and screaming to crying. I think where we have kind of broken down in this adventure of emotions is we haven't been telling men, yes, every feeling that you have is valid. Absolutely they are. But there's a time and a place and a way to express those feelings to your partner. And I don't think anyone, man or woman, should be bringing raw, unprocessed emotions to their partner, so that you need someone else to basically be your emotional regulation system. We need to go within ourselves and do that first before we bring it to our partner, because then we're going to create a cycle of very raw, tumultuous, unprocessed emotions that makes both parties feel codependent and unsafe.
Thank you all for watching the last video. If you want to watch another one, you can click here, or somewhere over here. That's it for today. Sending much love your way.